Here we go. Composite shapes are made up from more than one shape. So you can add them or you can subtract them from each other. You just need to know what you're looking for. Remember also to figure out what it is you're actually looking for. Am I looking for perimeter, which is around the outside and doesn't count that inside bit? Or am I looking for area? So we want to find, in this case, both of them. And we want to round our answers to 2 decimal places. So the perimeter of this one is gonna be, let's call this the length, and we'll call that the width, and that matters in this case. So we've got 2 lengths plus the width, because remember, we're adding these together, and then we've got a circle, but we're going to make the rash assumption that that is half of a circle. So we could do pi times the diameter, or we could use 2 pi r, which is the circumference, but we're going to use 1/2 of 2 times pi times the radius. So I've got 2 sides that are 17 centimeters long. So that's that guy and that guy taken care of, plus the width, which is 14. So I got that guy taken care of. And then I'm going to get 1/2 of 2 times pi times the radius. And the radius is going to be half. That's our radius, so it's going to be 7. Or the other thing I could do is just to cross out the 2 2's, because I'm taking 1/2 of. I could cross out each of these 2's. And I'll still get the same answer. I'll show you. So I'll write it a slightly different way. 2 times pi times the radius is 7. How do I know the radius is 7? Because it's half of 14. And we're going to take half of that. You see now that I'm going to end up with 2 times 17. That makes a total of 34 plus 14 plus 7 pi. If I wanted an exact answer, I'd add together 34 and 14 and then leave 7 pi, but I'm going to put it all into my calculator, and this is one I prepared earlier. So it works out, and it rounds to 69.99 centimeters. This is perimeter, so they're not centimeters squared, they're just plain old centimeters. Now the area, I'm going to add these 2 together, equals length times width, so that's this area, and to that I'm going to add the area of a semicircle. So the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So I'm going to want 1/2 of pi times the radius squared, which will then give me the half circle that's over here. So I'm adding those 2 together. So with my calculator, I'll take that length of 17 times 14 to give me that area of, in centimeters, of the rectangle. And to that, I'm going to add 1/2 times pi times 7 squared, because 7 again is our radius, and that's when it's really important to have a radius. And so when we work that out and we put that into our calculator, and we'll have 238 plus half a pi times 49, then you can, I'm gonna make these a little bit squiggly, because the area is, because I've rounded to do 2 decimal places, really close to 314.97. And this one is square centimeters because it takes up the area. This one we're asked to find the shaded area of this composite shape. So there's a couple of ways to do it. The way we're going to do it is we are going to subtract this triangle out of the whole. I think that'll be a nice clean way to do it. So the area of the whole thing, the total area, is going to be equal to the length squared, which, because we know this is a square, they're the same sides. Those lengths are squared. And from that, we're going to subtract the area of the triangle. And if anybody remembers the area of a triangle, it's 1/2 base times height. So we're going to get 2 different numbers, subtract them from each other, piece of cake. So we have 6 squared, which I'm going to go right on to say is 36. And I'm going to keep my minus sign, 1/2 of the base times the height. We can do, I love writing it this way. I like writing BH over 2, because it's exactly the same as 1/2 base times height. So if my base is 2 and my height is 2, and I divide that by 2, I'm really just taking 2. That's the area. I'm going to take 36. I'm going to take 2 cubic centimeters off of that, and that gives me a very simple answer of 34 centimeters, and we must, because it's area, put the cube down there.